guys, we are back, guys. Shout out to the subs, guys. Oh my god, guys! Shout out to anybody who clicked on this, even if you're not subscribed. I don't care. You don't have to subscribe. I don't care, guys. Don't like, don't subscribe. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares, guys? We're not here for that. We're here for the music, guys. Obviously, though, let's be for real. Shout out to the Hive. I seriously love you guys. At this point, guys, let's be for real. I'm really one of you guys. Like, I'm still like, I'm kind of like baby Hive though. I feel like because some of you guys have been around and listening to her since the beginning, and even since like Destiny's Child. So I feel like, you know what I mean. Like you guys were really there throughout everything. So you guys are like the real Hive. I feel like I'm kind of just like baby brand new Hive, but I feel like it's official. I feel like I really am. I feel like it's officially, we could call it, I'm officially Hive guy. Let's be for real, guys. At this point, it's official. So, although I say that, that might sound like I'm gonna be biased towards what we're about to watch, but guys, we are about to watch because I literally just finished. We just did the my first time listening to Dangerously in Love, which I loved. It was amazing. Um, and right now, I was about to do something else. I'm about to do another one. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do. I'm either gonna do the new Caliuchis. We're still gonna do them both, but I'm not sure. Right now, I'm either gonna do the new Caliuchis, or I'm about to do Ariana Sweetener. I'm gonna do them both. I just don't know which order. But anyway, but then this video just popped up, so recommended for me. So I'm like, well, we have to watch it. Artists that have accused Beyonce of stealing. I mean, guys, you guys know, you see all the instruments around me, guys. There's a million more instruments that you guys can't see. Um, you guys know I'm a musician. So obviously you guys know I mean, you guys know I ramble too much as it is, and I have way too, like, I have opinions on everything that I'll ramble about for like 2 hours about everything, right? So especially on something like this and music and stealing music, you guys know I have a crazy opinions already, and I'm gonna be rambling forever. So just to warn you guys, it's probably gonna be a long video. I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of pausing and a lot of rambling because I have very this is a thing. I don't know, guys. We're gonna get into this. Artists that have accused Beyonce of stealing, guys. We have to do it, guys. We got to get into it, guys. Let's do it.
Ever since Beyonce was a teenage member of the R&B singing group Destiny's Child, Queen Bee, as she's known to her dedicated fans,
Yes,
Beehive,
correct.
has been on the rise, having spent the majority of her
Shout out to the Hive, right? Yeah, and shout out to the Queen.
known to her dedicated fans, the Beehive, has been on the rise. Having spent the majority of her career now as a solo entity, Beyonce has had the confidence to rely on herself creatively, going to win countless awards from Billboard Awards, AMAs, BET Awards, Grammys, and much, much more, making Beyonce the most awarded and one of the most nominated artists in Grammy history. With a massive net worth of well over $500 million, Beyonce has a catalog of 7 solo albums
about right.
that have all gone on to be no less than platinum, even
Yeah.
during the streaming era. But there is something else that Beyonce has earned that is much less favorable: a reputation for allegedly taking ideas and IP from other artists. Being considered to be one of the most influential pop stars alive, you wouldn't think that she was also the one being inspired by others to the extent of borrowing so extensively. So who are these other artists that have accused Beyonce of stealing?
We're gonna keep watching this. We're gonna keep watching. We're gonna keep watching. I don't know. I'm gonna try to not. This might be a long video, guys, but I just have to laugh immediately at the that sentence. The where I don't. Again, I don't know who. I don't even know who this channel is. I don't know. I don't know who this. I don't know who this guy is. I'm not trying to. I don't know anything. Like, I've literally never seen this guy's channel. Shout out to him. I'm not even saying anything, but like, or maybe not shout out to him. Let's watch the video before we shout somebody out. But I'm saying, like, it's just such a funny thing to be like, you wouldn't think somebody who's very successful would. Again, I'm just saying on the statement itself. I don't know about what he's about to get into. I don't know. I'm just saying the statement itself is hilarious to be like, you wouldn't think somebody who's so influential and successful would be borrowing from other people. Yeah, that's called. That's literally what. I'm not. Who was it who said? Which I don't necessarily agree with this statement either. But who was it that famously said? Uh, um, who did he say? Good artists borrow, great artists steal. Who famously said that? Guys, who's that quote has been attributed to so many people. That's why. Like I'm blanking on who originally actually said it supposedly, because I've heard that quote attributed to a bunch of people. I've heard it attributed to Picasso. I've heard that attributed to Stravinsky. I've heard it attributed to Tchaikovsky. I've heard that quote attributed to several people. So like it wasn't really none of the you know what I mean. But that sentiment of that, at least, you know what I mean. At least the sentiment of it, which I'm not even saying I necessarily agree with it, but I'm saying it's like such the opposite to be like you wouldn't think someone influential would be borrowing from other people. Why would what that doesn't even how do those correlate? But whatever. I'm just laughing at the statement itself. Let's get into this, guy. I said this is gonna be a long video, guys. We're only 55 seconds into a 22-minute video.
Pop stars alive, you wouldn't think that she was also the one being inspired by others to the extent of borrowing so extensively. So who are these other artists that have accused Beyonce
Again, I don't know. I don't know any of the actual circumstances, so I don't know. Let's get into it,
of
guys.
stealing from them? Do they have a point? And some even filed lawsuits against her. And what exactly do they allege was taken from them?
What do they? Let's get into it.
Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Beyonce's R&B style has
What'd she
been
say?
more in the pop arena, and Erykah Badu's has been more in the neo soul lane, but that hasn't stopped
for
Beyonce
sure.
from getting called out for taking some of her swag.
Oh
Erykah
my
Badu
gosh.
threw
What
some
does that even
shots at
mean?
Beyonce by accusing Beyonce of copying Badu's signature tall headwear, which hat made of mirrors. Erykah Badu took to her IG story to post comparison pictures between herself and Beyonce's looks. With
What?
the caption, I guess I'm everyone's stylist. My favorite chrome mirror hat.
But was she hating when she said that, though?
Break My Soul, the Queen's remix, Beyonce skipped her usual lyrics of Badu, Lizzo, Kelly Roll, and replaced them with Badu, 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 Badu. Some fans took it as a response to Badu's Instagram post. Whether it was supposed to be a salute or a diss is not quite clear, and some also felt like it was Beyonce canceling Lizzo, who had recently been sued for supposedly providing a hostile work environment for her dancers.
I missed all this.
Kelis 2000.
Wasn't I remember hearing about the Lizzo thing. That was this last year, right? I guess I don't know. I had so much shit going on last summer. I didn't hear that. Okay. But I don't know. So was she hating though? I know she kind of hates on people. So maybe she was hating on B. I don't know. But all right, that felt like a reach, not by her. Oh, I felt like a reach by her for sure, by Erykah Badu for sure, but also kind of felt like a reach by this. I'm not hating on this guy, but I'm just saying. I get what he's saying though. They accuse her of stealing. I get it. No, it does feel. It wasn't a reach for him. Never mind.
Single milkshake became not just part of everyday slang, but also a reason to call out its producers, the Neptunes, as well as Beyonce for allegedly not getting Kelis permission to sample Milkshake on
I
Beyonce's
did
song
hear about
Energy
this,
from her album Renaissance. Via Kelis' Bounty and Full business account on Instagram, she stated in a series of posts, "My mind is blown too because the level of disrespect and utter ignorance of all three parties involved is astounding. I hear about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled. I'm an artist. So I am, as Erykah Badu said, I'm sensitive about my stuff. The reality is that my real
He changes
beef is
the
not only
stuff.
with Beyonce, because at the end of the day, she sampled a record. She's copied me before, so have many other artists. It's fine, I don't care about that. Really not about Beyonce. It's about hypocrisy and a lot of nonsense in the industry itself. I just heard the record everyone is saying has my sample, but it's beyond this song at this point. This was a trigger for me. Milkshake alone is one of the most licensed records of our generation. I am a creator, I'm an innovator. I have done more than left my mark on an era of music and style that will go down in history. But there are bullies and secrets and gangsters in this industry that smile and get away with it until someone says enough is enough. So I'm saying it today, I'm coming for what's mine, and I want reparations. Peace." When Beyonce edited the track to omit Kelis' work from it, this adjustment sent members of Beyonce's Beehive fan club into an uproar, as if Kelis didn't have the right to defend herself, but also because they felt that Kelis didn't even own the masters to the record. When one fan angrily asked Kelis if she was happy now that the change was made, Kelis pointed out the strange backlash by saying, "Yes, I am actually. LOL, nobody cried. I ain't never seen folks go so hard for someone that they never met or know personally. It's got cult written all over." Lorella Cuccarini.
All right, now that one, because I feel like we have to pause after each one and get into each one. So that one, like, I mean, that is a whole thing where it's like, all right, it is a thing of At the end of the day, I don't know. At the end of the day, the behind the scenes thing, so I can't comment. I can't have an opinion because I don't know how it went down, and I don't know who owns the master and who has the publishing. Like I don't know that. So because even though that is a really terrible thing of the music industry, that is still a thing at the end of the day. If you don't own the publishing or the masters, you don't have a say at the end of the day. So, but I don't know if she has, or maybe also it's one of those situations where she actually contributed to that song and she should have at the very least publishing it. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. I don't know the situation. So I don't know. I don't really have a comment other than like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't have. I guess I really can't say because I don't really know the full extent of the situation. I mean, because that's really what it comes down to is like, if you own the publishing, because if you have the publishing and then they sampled it without going to you, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. But if you don't own the publishing and the master is not yours, it's owned by the label, then like I don't. Then what is there to? I don't understand. I don't know. Like I don't know. But again, I don't know all the details, so I can't really get into that. I can't really get into.
Cult written all over.
But that's hilarious though.
Lorella Cuccarini. Even artists from other countries have allegedly had their work taken by Beyonce. When Beyonce performed her single Run the World, Girls at the 2011 Billboard Music Awards, she was getting rave reviews from her famous peers like Missy Elliott, who described Beyonce as a true entertainer. The singer Omarion states that he was speechless, and pop star Pink tweeted, Beyonce just killed it at the Billboard Awards. So
literally, that was one of the best things that we watched all of last year was her doing that at the Billboard Awards. That was so insane. It was so crazy. She was so crazy. The visuals of that was so crazy. That was like one of the highlights of the things we saw last year for sure. Like that's still in my mind. Like I've seen it since, but like I just remember seeing it that first time. Like whoa, like this is crazy. Like, and the fact that she had to memorize all those steps too, with everything to go in sync with the visual behind her, like that was crazy. That actually was fire. That was really crazy.
Original, so rad. But it didn't take long for what goes around to come around when videos started spreading on the internet showing Beyonce's performance side by side with a 2010 performance by Italian pop singer-dancer Lorella Cuccarini. The similarities included both singers using a white screen with choreography and visual effects.
What is this? What is this?
Colors. Even though there were fans that came to Beyonce's defense stating that maybe she was paying homage to Lorella Cuccarini, and most likely got Lorella's permission first. The answer to that theory is no. Beyonce.
But here's the thing: permission for what though? What does that even mean though? What does that even mean though? Yeah, this is the thing, which like. I don't want to get into this because then it's just gonna be like me rambling about it for an hour. Because there are things from both sides where, depending on where you are in the situation, IP can either be an amazing thing or a terrible thing. Like I don't know. It's a very complicated thing. I don't want to just ramble about IP for like an hour, but like again, that's not even something that's I don't even think that's not even something that's protected under IP. But it's just like so somebody had a projection behind them. Is that what we're saying? She didn't get permission to have a projection behind her. Even if this, even if you want to show visual, okay, in the wing, I saw obviously they were doing a side by side. If I was to see the whole thing, let's say even it was even a shot by shot, same thing. The idea, I don't know. I'm just saying it's very. guys, you know that the for all the Americans, even the non-Americans, you've heard the song probably if you watch the Olympics or the World Cup or something. You get the Star Spangled Banner, then literally the national anthem. Guys, you know that melody is a melody from another song, right? You know that's not an original melody, right? And those lyrics came from somewhere else, right? You know that was a melody that existed, a poem that existed, and somebody put those two together, and now that's our national anthem. And it's like, oh yeah, you have to be reverent and take off your hat and and salute, and because it's so but that's something that was like, meanwhile it's like, oh, but this is, do you see what I'm getting at, guys? Like, I'm not trying to really ramble, we're gonna keep watching this, but like let's just keep watching this. But the idea of like, I don't know. I have very, like I said, I don't want to ramble for an hour about IP because if you are in the position to benefit from it, I completely understand. Like, obviously, it's very, a lot of you guys might have heard about Steamboat Willie, very famously falling into public domain this year. The original Mickey Mouse cartoon, technically the third one, but the first one released, and that has been Disney has been like the copyright laws were extended for the amount of time that you have. They were extended to 95 years. They used to be only 50 years. It was extended to 95 years because of lobbying that Disney did because they wanted to make sure that they could get every single they wanted to make sure they could go as long as possible without having to lose the IP to Steamboat Willie. And they're still gonna keep fighting eventually because eventually they're gonna lose the IP to Mickey Mouse himself. Um but anyway, that's a whole other thing. My point though is to say that like if you are in the position to benefit from that IP, if you guys don't know, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. IP, intellectual property, meaning some kind of like an idea, like you can copyright an idea, like that's my idea, like the idea of Mickey Mouse is copyrighted by Disney, so you're not allowed to make a shirt with Disney on it because they own the idea of the image of Mickey Mouse, so you can't have your own, even if it's not actually, even if you just draw your own image of it and so you're not allowed to own the image. They own the idea of the image. That's what IP is, and it's there's a lot of different types of IP. So I'm saying, if you're in the position to benefit from IP, I totally get it, and I totally get it. I get why you'd be 100% on the side of IP. I totally get it, but I'm saying in other circumstances, it's kind of so. My point is, and again, that's not something that it's even, especially because different countries or whatever. But I'm saying like the idea of like she didn't even ask permission. What are you talking about? What does this even mean? What does this even mean? You're doing something in the style of, and you didn't ask permission, so you're stealing. What are we even? What does this even mean? What is this? What?
And most likely got Lorella's permission first.
Permission
The
for
answer
what?
to that theory is no. Beyonce didn't have permission to duplicate the routine. Beyonce responded to the criticism by saying, "My makeup artist showed me the performance of Lorella Cuccarini a year ago, and it inspired me so much.
Yeah, but permission
I
of
then met with the
what?
talented people who worked on it. The technology and concept were so genius. Thank God for YouTube, where I would have never been exposed to something so inspiring. I never worked so hard on anything in my life as that performance for the Billboard Awards."
Crazy.
Unfortunately, there's no way of knowing if Beyonce would have ever publicly admitted to reusing Lorella Cuccarini's concept if she hadn't first been
The
caught.
concept, reusing a concept. Like, what does that even mean? Reusing a concept. So only one person is allowed to ever think of something ever and do it ever in the history of humanity. And if you hear anyone else ever does, hey guys, you know how we all walk? Are you not giving credit to the original walker? You know how I'm speaking right now? Why am I not giving credit to the original talker? Did I get permission to talk? What does this shit even mean? Like, the idea of it is so ridiculous. Like, it's just makes it so crazy. It's so crazy. You know, back to also, you know, my thing I was saying with the national anthem. Guys, you know, before Hoover in the 30s signed a thing that decreed that the Star Spangled Banner was the national anthem, America had no national anthem. From the beginning of America up to like 1930 something, whenever he signed that thing, it was in the 30s. There was no national anthem for America. But you know what was kind of like the de facto, like the one that everybody would just play or sing automatically just because that was the one I ever did, was you guys know My Country 'Tis of Thee? My country 'tis of thee, sweet land. You guys remember the song? Of thee, I say, guys, that's literally the British national anthem. That's literally God Save the Queen. It's literally the same melody with different lyrics. Guys, music, music is, I don't know. I understand too. Again, I'm not trying to get anything because copyright does help in and can be used against people though. It's the thing. It just depends. But like, I don't know. I'm not sure, whatever. But like, guys, that back in the day before there was such a thing as copyrighting music, and because the thing right now is, okay, you can't copyright rhythms and you can't copyright chord progressions. You can only copyright melodies. So you're allowed to copyright melodies. But back in the day, guess what? Melodies just spread here and there. Because, guys, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and the song that you sing for the alphabet, it's the same melody. The lyrics are just different. But parody even now, still today, people will still, you take a song and you'll change the lyrics but keep the same melody. but you turn it into a new song. Is it really a new song? Did you rip it off? Well, hey, it's a parody, so we just say, well, that in that case, it's okay. Here's the case where it's okay to do that, but in other cases, it's not okay. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, so, and some of that also comes down to, like I said, stuff with publishing and stuff like that, and that's a whole other thing. But I'm just saying, like, the idea of like this is such a crazy ass. This is beyond a reach. Like, this is beyond a reach. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But would she have ever publicly admitted about taking the concept? What? What are we saying here? What is this? What is this? What is this? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Hey, the first the human to walk upright. Are we? Did we take the concept from this is what are we talking about, guys? Look, opposable thumbs. Did I take the concept from the original opposable? What are we talking about? This is so ridiculous. Shout out to whoever made this video. This is such a clickbaity, ridiculous type of video. You gotta kind of love it. Like, of course not, because like it's like kind of it's just coming off as slander, like ridiculous. But it's so over the top that it's almost like you kind of just gotta love it. You know what I mean? Like guys, I'm gonna press play now, but just this is the last thing, guys. I didn't know. And I've had a YouTube channel since forever. Like, not this one, but my music channel. I've had it since like 2012, guys. Like, and I didn't know up until like literally 2 days ago that YouTube does a thing where they don't automatically publish every comment on your video. Some of them get held for review and you have to manually publish them. And if it's comments, if YouTube thinks that it's something like messed up or crazy or whatever. Guys, I didn't know that, so I went to check on the comments for this channel if there was any like that. Guys, there was a few of them. Some of them were funny, but like I don't want to get into everyone, but the funniest one, the best one, guys. Someone left a comment saying something like, I'm paraphrasing, but guys, it's not. This is not that far off. I could screenshot it and post it, guys. You can see it, guys. Somebody posted. They left a comment saying something like, "You're such an idiot. Why are you smoking? That's gonna kill you. You're gonna get lung cancer and die, and your family's gonna miss you, all because you thought it was funny to smoke." And they go to hell with your smoking. Hashtag dumbass. Guys, I was so, guys, even right now, it's the funniest. Like, I can't, guys, like, I don't know if I was supposed to get angry or get hurt or whatever, but like, guys, they told me to go to hell with my smoking. Guys, do you understand how hilarious that is? Like, my point is like, guys, this video is hilarious. Like, I know it's easy to be like, yeah, but like, B didn't really do, so let's be mad at this guy. This is funny. I love it. I totally love this. This is amazing. She didn't ask for permission for a concept. It's amazing. And then he goes into the quote from B saying that she literally worked with the same technology company, and then he follows it up with, would she have admitted that she took the concept? She worked with the same people who did it. What do you That's like being like somebody had a crazy roller coaster and then another theme park works with the company who made the other theme park's roller coaster, and they're like, they stole it from the other park. No, they work with the same That's crazy. That's hilarious. That's like being like, like somebody who works with the producer and then another artist works with the producer, and it's like, whoa, they have a similar sound. They took it was the same producer. What are you talking about? This is crazy, guys. I love this. This is amazing. Guys, this is amazing.
Publicly admitted to reusing Lorella Cuccarini's concept if she hadn't first been caught.
She was caught. Guys, she was caught. They caught her. This is amazing. She got caught. Guys, she got caught with doing something extremely public, being on the Billboard Music Awards with something that was also already apparently making the rounds on YouTube. And then for Beyonce to have seen it, like, this is so crazy. I love this.
Terrence T. Rob Robinson. Beyonce's reputation for, quote, song stealing even
Okay.
extends to her Destiny's Child days. Miami
Okay.
based producer Terrence T. Rob Robinson filed a $200 million lawsuit against the girl group Destiny's Child for allegedly stealing his song Glorious, which he produced back in June of 2000. T Rob claims that after producing Glorious, he provided it to Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father and manager, later that year in October in an effort to kickstart his career. But what ended up happening instead was Matthew Knowles disappeared with the song, and months later, Destiny's Child had apparently transformed T Rob's song Glorious into the Destiny's Child song Survivor without Terrence's name or credit, who stated how his career would have been different if he had been properly credited. I know right now I would be one of the biggest, most sought after producers. But the other side of the story is that Matthew Knowles claimed that not only had three different people claimed to either have written or produced the song Survivor,
That's
but
hilarious.
that he hadn't met nor heard of T Rob until he informed the producer that his management company, Music World Entertainment, had nothing to do with Robinson's song Glorious. Matthew Knowles said Destiny's Child wrote the lyrics themselves and left production of the track to be handled by State of Mind music producer Anthony Dent. Survivor was not just a number 2 hit in 2001 that earned Beyonce's group Destiny's Child a Grammy in 2002 for Best R&B Performance, but it was also the title of Destiny's Child 2001 album, which sold 6 million copies. It doesn't seem like anything really came out of this lawsuit, therefore either Destiny's Child either settled with T-Rob out of court or the entire lawsuit was just thrown out. Desiree.
I mean, with that one, I mean, I don't know. How can you even say? At the end of the day, it is a common thing in the music industry to pass your music off to somebody and it gets stolen. So he might have been for real. It's also very common to also be like, "Hey, you stole my thing," and they didn't. So who knows? Like you really, I don't know. Like on that one, I really can't say anything. You know what I mean? Because that you really don't know. That's one of those things you really don't know.
The song ballad called Still in Love, Kissin' You by Beyonce was included on the 2007 deluxe version of her second studio album, Birthday, of which it said that Beyonce contributed to the
B
writing and
day.
production.
This fool called it birthday. This fool said birthday. It's B day. She's B. Beyonce. Come on, guy. It's B day.
Second studio album, Birthday, of which it said that Beyonce contributed to the writing and production of. This claim was kinda odd considering that it was a cover of a song called Kissin' You by British singer Desiree. There was also a music video filmed on Super 8 in Miami for Still in Love, Kissin' You, that was shot and directed by
Yeah,
Cliff Watts,
this
who was
guy.
the one behind the
Hold on,
camera.
guys. We gotta run it back. I fucking love this guy. His delivery is amazing, guys. Oh, that was kind of odd.
British singer Desiree. The name was kinda odd considering that it was a cover of a song called Kissin' You by British singer Desiree. There was also a music video filmed on Super 8 in Miami for Still in Love, Kissin' You, that was shot and directed by Cliff Watts, who was the one behind the camera of Beyonce's Sports Illustrated magazine cover. The music video was included on the Birthday Anthology video album, and all seemed to be well until the Royalty Network, the publishers for Desiree, filed a lawsuit against Sony BMG Sales Enterprise, Beyonce, B-Day Publishing, and EMI, making the claim that Beyonce's cover of Desiree's song infringed on copyright conditions. It was back in February 13, 2007 that Beyonce's representatives sought out permission to use interpolations of Kissin' You, to which the Royalty Network offered Beyonce the use of the song under very specific conditions. Two of the conditions of the proposal were that the song's title remained the same, and that the song was not to be published in video form. Beyonce broke both of those terms for use and made no further contact with the Royalty Network. This fractured promise led the Royalty Network publishing company to request that Sony Music Entertainment, which was the parent company of Columbia Records, put an immediate halt on distribution of the B-Day album that contained this retitled version of Desiree's song. But the album was still released on April 3, 2007, which the Royalty Network viewed as willful disregard and removed Beyonce's permission to use the song. The lawsuit filed on April 16, 2007 in the District Court for the Southern District
April
of New York
16th, the
was
day
in
before
pursuit of
April 17th,
$150,000
guys.
in damages and a recall of the infringing material, which led to Sony Music Entertainment putting a stop to the distribution of both the deluxe edition of B-Day and the anthology video album on that day. But these editions had already sold over 214,000 units. There would later be reissues of these albums without Still in Love and its video, There was a replacement track called If to take its place on the B-Day Deluxe edition. The case was dismissed with prejudice on
I did
October
not
12,
know any of
2007,
this. That's
with all
crazy.
parties involved in agreement. Beyonce's father and manager went on to explain that Beyonce was unaware of the copyright issues before any legal action was ever taken. Rich Harrison.
I mean, that's the other thing. That's the other side of it too that you have to remember too. Is it's like it's like, all right, guys, like, you know how like you go to sleep, you get up, you get ready, you go to work. When you have kids, you gotta get them ready for school. You go to work, you have to they pick them up, or maybe they go home on their own, and then you get home, you make dinner, you gotta do whatever, you go to sleep. Maybe you don't have kids, maybe whatever. But you know how you are, you know how life is. But like, guys, like when you're at that level of that, it's not that. Like that is not that. Meaning like something like that. It's not like it's Beyonce is like on the phone, like, hey, could we get this cleared? And they're like, okay, but here's the condition. And then she's like, okay, like, yeah, of course. Like, of course it's not, that's not even, it's nothing even close to that. You know what I mean? So like, that is just like I understand it though, because this is just it fits the context of the video, or what the title of the video is, of just artists that have accused Beyonce of stealing. So it fits. But that one right there, I mean, obviously that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, hey, we cleared the sample, okay, cool. And then, hey, but really it's really, the thing is, we're not even a sample to use for an interpolation, but even still, where it's like, okay, you could use it, but here's whatever. Obviously, you know what I mean? Like not everything gets communicated. You know what I'm saying? So that was just that felt like kind of a reach, I'm saying.
Crazy in Love became one of the biggest pop hits of the 2000s, and Beyonce promoted the song as being a collaboration between herself and producer Rich Harrison. She explained the origin of Crazy in Love by saying, "The song came from me actually looking crazy one day in the studio, and I said, I'm looking crazy right now." And Rich Harrison, the producer, was like, "That's the song." But strangely enough, this is not how the producer Rich Harrison remembers the creative process going down, leading to yet another artist who has accused Beyonce of theft. According to Harrison, he first played a sample of the track for Beyonce, who told him that she not only loved the idea, but she insisted that he write the song and that she would return in 2 hours. So if this is actually what happened, that means that Beyonce didn't write the song, and she wasn't even there to contribute to it being written. Even while Rich Harrison struggled with a hangover, he was still able to write the full song and play all the instruments for the track before Beyonce returned. Apparently, the only part that Beyonce did write was the bridge. Marilyn Ortiz.
I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? I don't know if it was just the two of them, and who really knows, right? I don't know. I mean, I can't really comment on that. What is there to say? That's really just a case of he said, she said, right? At the end of the day, I go, literally, she said one thing, he said another thing. Like, you know.
The number of contributors on Beyonce's Lemonade album amounts to over 40 individuals. In fact, one song on the album called Hold Up actually has 17 credits. But one person who felt disrespected is choreographer Marilyn Ortiz, who gained acclaim for performing in shows with the theatrical dance group Fuerza Bruta. Ortiz took to Instagram to air out her grievances with Beyonce for allegedly stealing dance moves for Beyonce's Formation World Tour associated with the album Lemonade from Marilyn Ortiz's group De La Guarda. "I'm sorry I don't bash artists, but I respect fellow creative artists and don't like to use social media to promote something that can be perceived as negativity. But at Beyonce, you have the nerve to steal exact concepts in choreography from other real creative geniuses. You stole from at Breaking Surface."
I let's just let.
"You stole the stomping from De La Guarda. It's okay to be inspired, but at least make the effort to make it your own. Also, at Crazy Horse Paris, the saddle scene. Let's keep it real, people. Hide your ideas." A bunch of
Hide your ideas. Hide your ideas is crazy. I can't even. Oh my gosh. I mean, again, I hey guys. I mean, that's just. I mean, I just. And again, I could sort of understand the flip side of being like, hey, I honestly I kind of even can't though. It's Here's the thing. All right, guys. Back in the day, even still now, there still is, but it's not as much now. You don't see it as much now. It was really, really big in the '60s, is what I feel like it was at its biggest. But it's even still now. There will be like a song that's associated with the dance. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Like there's always every few years there's always a big song that catches on that has a dance associated with it that everybody just does and everybody goes crazy and everybody starts doing the same dance, right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You guys obviously, right? Hide your ideas, guys. Hide your ideas. If you guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm here to tell you guys anything in the last 20 years, guys. If you ever, back in the days of when people were doing the Dougie, guys, did you guys give the credit when you did it though? But guys, did you actually give credit, guys, when you did the Millie Rock, guys? Did you give credit before you did it though? Really? Hide your ideas. Like, what are we like? That's the thing about IP is that because IP isn't in everything, once you extend it to things that aren't under IP, it sort of shows how ridiculous the idea is. For example, the idea of movement. So the idea that if you move your body in a particular way, if I do the twist, you know what I mean? And if I take it old school, you guys know I like old school shit, guys. If I take it the chubby checker and I start doing the twist, like, well, I'm actually infringing. I Chubby Checker should have hid his ideas because everybody's took his movement and they didn't even give credit when they like when once so they should have to pay at the very least, if not monetarily, pay respect and homage, and because if not, it's not really their idea. It's so much. Do you know what I'm saying? And it just comes off as like a very, I don't know, guys. Guys, what happened to this mic? Is this mic not working? Why is there no guys? Wait, is this mic on? Guys, remember this. What happened to this mic? Is the pad on? Oh, the pad has been on. Oh. Guys, there. This should be way louder now. Fuck. My bad. It has a pad switch, which means it lowers the volume, which you want sometimes. Sometimes you don't. I accidentally had the pad on. Fuck, guys. But do you see what I'm saying though? It's just kind of ridiculous. Damn, the audio is probably all terrible, huh? For this whole thing, huh? Because the pad was on. Damn, my bad, guys. All right, well, it should be better now, even though we're, halfway through and I'm still rambling. But see what I'm saying? It's just so crazy that they're like, nope, you can't do that movement. Or imagine the idea of a recipe. Like, oh, you made a chicken sandwich, but with bacon and this type of spread on it that I made it. Oh, you've infringed my thing. Like, it was a sandwich. Like, what? But think about that with other stuff too, though. But again, when it comes to other certain things, people don't like. Well, they think like, okay, a book makes sense, then a song makes sense, a movie makes sense, and certain ideas make sense, certain ideas don't. Like I said, I don't want to get it. And again, if you benefit from it, it totally makes sense. So I totally get it. I'm not, if I was in the position to benefit for 95 years off of the Mickey Mouse IP, I would totally sign up. Of course. I mean, think I'm going to want to give it away? No, let me make my 95 years with my Mickey Mouse money. Of course. I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying the idea of like, this is crazy. Like, this is so crazy. Like,
thanks. And props to my friends that did the aerial. The likelihood of Beyonce's choreography team snatching dance moves from Fuerza Bruta videos or performances.
Because again, look at that. They're snatching dance moves. Like, what is that even? If they had all broke out into like, like I said, if they would have done the twist, is that one so old that way it's okay? If they had done the chicken dance, if they had done the electric slide, if they had done the Cupid shuffle, would that have been okay? But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, where do you draw the line exactly? Like, how old and how many people have to have done it before eventually it's okay for you to, do you know what I'm saying? Because if they dancers on stage had done the mashed potato, you know what I mean? Or if they had done the bird, or if they had done the jerk, or like an old school dance like that. I'm trying to think of like the old school dances, you know what I mean? Really old school, let's say the jitterbug or the foxtrot or something, or the Charleston. Let's go real old school, right? let's say they had done a dance like that, would anybody have been like, hey, it's, do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
Just increased.
But again, I understand at the same time, with just being like, hey, I made that move, but it's, at the same time, it's like, okay, but I don't know, guys.
As a story came out on Page 6 in December of 2009 that reported, Beyonce took the interactive vibes of Fuerza Bruta Look Up to heart Saturday night, trying to learn the choreography during the high-energy dance spectacles Murga section, where dancers stomp on large platforms. At around the 5-minute mark in the video from 2009, it becomes apparent that the dance move that Marilyn Ortiz accused Beyonce of copying for her tour choreography is practically identical. Beyonce has not only been accused of stealing from other artists, but she even faced a lawsuit from the modeling agency that arranged endorsement deals on her behalf and didn't receive their fair share. Wilhelmina Artists, the division of the Wilhelmina modeling agency that represents music and models, filed suit in Manhattan Supreme Court against Beyonce over her contract with cosmetics company L'Oreal that earned Beyonce approximately $1 million, with Wilhelmina never receiving their 10% commission fee. The suit also stated that Beyonce refused to pay future commissions from the 2 years remaining on the L'Oreal contract at the time as well. But on June 8, 2005, a New York judge ordered singer Beyonce to pay the modeling agency $1 million for getting her a job with L'Oreal when she was hired to be the face of the cosmetics company in 2001. The Swiss
really crazy. She had to pay $1 million. I love though that that's in the suit. They said she didn't pay us for the year. And she also said she's not paying us for the next 2. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Again, I have. I just have opinions on everything. I don't want to ramble about everything, but agents and managers serve a purpose. They definitely serve a purpose. And you definitely do get into an agreement to pay them for whatever. So, again, and I don't know the actual details of the case. But I will say that, guys, if I mean, it's a tricky thing because I feel like, again, I don't know the details of the case, but let's say it was the way that the agency described it. Technically, on their end, they are right. They are right. They're 100% correct, and they should have got their 10% and be fucked up, and they should have sued her, and they're 100% right. Again, on the other hand, though, the idea of, again, I get it. Well, that's stuff just the middleman fee. I get it. But again, the idea of like L'Oreal being like, we want Beyonce, we want to give her this money to do this, and Beyonce says, I want to take the money to do this, but then she has to give 10% of that money to the people who are just in the middle to say, I don't know. Again, I get it. I'm not saying I get it. But I'm just saying there's. I don't know. I feel I will always be 1,000% on the side of anybody who's an artist as opposed to anybody who makes money off of an artist. Always. And I understand what managers and agents do, so I'm not hating on anybody who is one. But I'm just saying at the end of the, and I get there's a lot of stuff that they get done and a lot of stuff, especially depending on the artist, that the artist would never be able to do in a million years. I understand these things, especially depending on the agent or the manager, regards to connections. I understand these things, but I'm still just saying at the end of the day, you make money off of the artist. You're not the artist himself. I will always be on the side of the artist no matter what. I don't care. The promoters, I understand what promoters do, but promoters still make money off the artist. Managers make money off the artist. Agents make money off the artist. These are all people who make money off of the artist. I get it, and it's great, but you know what I mean? I will always 1,000%. The labels obviously make money off the artist. Like, you know what I mean? They steal everything from, you know what I mean? So I always will be. You guys see all these instruments around me. Shit. But guys, all right, guys, I'm kind of lit right now, but guys, I will literally always be on the side of the artist. So, my point being, like, yeah, that is kind of crazy though, because you always do have to, like, I mean, you gotta pay them. You know what I mean? You gotta give them the 10%. I mean, you have to. Like that is the agreement. But at the same time, it's like, what did you guys do? I'll be honest. Like, what do you think I couldn't have got this without you guys? I could have with anybody. Whatever. I'll just assign myself as my own agent with the fake voice, and I'll do the call, and I'll keep my 10%. That's what she should have done. That's what she really should have done. But you know what I mean? That she wouldn't have to pay that whole $1 million. She could have just paid 10% on the $1 million, which would have only been $100,000. But still, I don't know. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. I'm supposed to be on the, and I get it. It's like, whatever. I get it. At the end of the day, it's like neither. Guess what? That agency and Beyonce, neither of them know I exist, and none of them will care about me. So it doesn't matter. But and it's like at the end of the day, you could be like, yeah, but they're all just rich people who don't care about you. Correct. But still, I'll still be on the side of the rich artist as opposed to the rich agency. That's just my automatic. You know what I mean? That's just my automatic side. It just is what it is.
Pipolati Wrist has been a pioneer in the video medium since the 80s, with their trademark style incorporating plenty of attention to detail through bright, saturated colors and close-up imagery of nature, various surfaces, and skin. Pipolati's art installations are designed to activate all 5 senses, and her videos have special soundtracks to match her zoomed-in visuals to create somewhat of a hypnotic effect to soothe and stimulate audiences. Pipolati's name popped up in pop culture when a music video for Hold Up, a song that became popular for including details about Beyonce's husband Jay-Z allegedly cheating on her from Beyonce's album Lemonade, appeared to have been plagiarized. The music video shows Beyonce walking down the street of what appears to be New Orleans, wearing a dress and smashing cars with a baseball bat. The more her anger builds up, the more we see explosions going off behind her. But anyone who assumed this was an original idea may have gotten their hopes up too high when Beyonce was accused of stealing the visuals from Pipolati Wrist's video project Ever Is Overall from 1997. Ever Is Overall also shows Wrist walking down the street in a dress and smashing cars.
He did not say in a dress. He did not mention in a dress. Beyonce ripped off wearing a dress. I get it. Again, I get it. Obviously, I get that. I see it. I see what. But it's just the fact that he specifically mentioned in a dress, as if like that's another thing she was ripping off, like walking down the street in a dress.
Video project Ever Is Overall from 1997. Ever Is Overall also shows Wrist walking down the street in a dress and smashing cars, but instead of a bat, she uses an oversized flower. Even the general angle of Wrist and Beyonce's videos are fairly identical.
Again, I'm not saying it probably was taken from that, but I'm just saying that the fact that this is just, I don't know. It's it's like, yeah, that's I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like I said, the idea of these are all also, I gotta say, incredibly weak. I thought they were gonna be way crazier. I thought it was gonna be like people that are just saying like ripped off whole songs. Like there was literally only one of those so far. And even that, I think, still in that claim, what did he say that he called it before he said they changed it to Survivor? He called it something else, Glorious, right? Because I remember thinking the syllables don't match up. Survivor, glorious. I guess sort of glorious. But that you'd have to say glorious. And who says glorious? It's glorious. It's actually really 2 syllables. Glorious. Survivor is 3 syllables. So that doesn't even match up. I don't know what his original one was, but I'm saying I thought this video was going to be nothing but that. All these are weak as hell. I'm not going to lie, guys.
Fashion CEO. After being accused of taking credit, intellectual property, ideas, and even money from producers, songwriters, singers, dancers, choreographers, video artists, and modeling agencies, Beyonce managed to have legal problems with the fashion industry as well. Beyonce and her mother, Tina Knowles, were sued for $1.5 million by Wear Me Apparel Corp., the company Beyonce was collaborating with for her own clothing line. The lawsuit was filed in New York State Supreme Court by Greg Walker, the CEO of Icon Entertainment, claiming he wasn't fully paid for securing the $15 million deal between Beyonce and Wear Me Apparel. Greg Walker stated that Beyonce and her mother, who designed the Street collection, hired him in August 2003 to assist them with landing endorsement and licensing deals. Walker made that happen and secured a $15 million deal for Beyonce and her mother to establish the clothing line with the clothing manufacturer Wear Me Apparel. At the time of his lawsuit, Greg Walker alleged that out of the $1 million that he was owed, he had only been paid $25,000 from Knowles' mother Tina, with Walker stating, "Beyonce and Tina Knowles agreed on the terms of our business relationship, but have failed to properly compensate me for reasons unknown to me. I just want to receive my fair share and move on with my business." Unfortunately for Greg Walker, it appears that he had only made an oral agreement, which led to the Manhattan Supreme Court Justice to find that Walker never had a valid contract with Beyonce and her mother Tina. Walker had accused Beyonce of failing to pay him a penny after receiving $25,000 for his services, but he didn't let that court decision put an end to his dispute. Walker was reported as saying, "I'll never give up because I know I'm right. The judge was starstruck. I believe if I was white, I would have been paid." Jennifer Armour.
I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I mean, and again, who knows? I will always. I'm not necessarily always giving people the benefit of the doubt because I really don't trust anybody. I think everybody's like, I think everybody's bullshit, to be honest. So, like, just in general in life, you know what I'm saying? So, like, but I will say that, like, okay, let's say that what happened, what he said happened is what happened. Yeah, I mean, that sucks, but you should have got that in. You should have got it in writing. I don't know what to tell you. That really sucks. Yeah, if you all you got is a he said she said, then that's all you have is a he said she said. That's it. And he said she said does not hold up in court. You need papers with signatures and lots of lawyers, which they have and B has, and there would have been a lot of stuff that would have gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, this just sounds kind of. Do you know what I mean? Then. Also, the 1 million sounded very specific. Like, not that any number isn't specific, but I was like I was supposed to have $1 million, and I didn't get that, which sounds very. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know. Who knows? Also, again, that was another case of just a middleman saying I didn't get my middleman cut. Really, which, again, I understand. There's always a use for middleman. I'm not hating on middlemen. Literally, anytime you go to a store, that's what a store is, right? There's the retailer. There's the actual the company who makes the product, and then there's you, and you go to the store, and that's the middleman. So I get it, but at the same time, I mean, don't you guys a lot of times order online straight from the company because you get it faster and cheaper? Like, who needs the middleman? I don't know. I get it though. They provide a service. So I get it. I'm not hating on the idea of being a middleman, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't know. That was just another case of that. Is my point.
Beyonce released her Grammy-winning album Dangerously in Love in 2003. The second single was called Baby Boy, featuring Jamaican dance.
Oh, that was the second single. Guys, literally right now, I just finished, if you guys, by the time this video is posted, it should be up, but I literally just finished hearing Dangerously in Love. And when we heard that song, I was saying, this has to have been a single, right? It was, okay, the second single. I was going to say, because that song, it was like that, I could imagine in 2003, like, if I don't know what it was like to be at a club in 2003, but if I would have been around in 2003 at a club, I could imagine hearing that song and everybody just going crazy. That's
Sean Paul,
all right, let's see.
Who was already crossing over to mainstream in the US at the time. But the platinum hit also had something else, the accusation that it had been taken from an up-and-coming singer and songwriter from Shakopee, Minnesota named Jennifer Armour. This accusation was pursued by Jennifer in 2005 when she filed a copyright infringement lawsuit claiming that Beyonce not only took some of her lyrics, but also snatched up the musical hook from Armour's song, Got a Little Bit of Love for You. Being that Jennifer Armour wasn't established in the music industry yet, and this was before social media was a vehicle for independent artists to promote their music, how did Beyonce find out about Jennifer's song, Got a Little Bit of Love for You? The timeline begins with Jennifer Armour composing the song Got a Little Bit of Love for You in early January 2003 as a means of advancing her career. Then, on February 12, 2003, Armour registered a copyright of an a cappella version of the song, but the copyright for the instrumental version of the song didn't happen until May 1, 2006. Meanwhile, between January and March 2003, Armour's manager, Mark McKinney, was sending out copies of Jennifer's music to various people in the music industry that he thought were connected to Beyonce Knowles, including her label Columbia Records and Sean Paul's label Atlantic. But he never heard anything back, and the tapes were never returned to him either. About a month after Jennifer Armour recorded her song, Beyonce entered a recording studio.
I just have or the. Why would they have been returned though? Nobody returned. If you send out, he said tapes, which they would have been CDs in those days, but nobody returned. What are you talking about? Return? Why would they get returned? What are you talking about? Like, it just seems like every aspect of the script that this one wrote is to try to play up like how terrible and evil. Like, they didn't even return the tapes. What is this, Blockbuster in '95 or something? They didn't return the tapes. It's crazy. Who would return? If you submit a demo to a label, why would they return it to you? That doesn't. They didn't even return the tapes. I love this guy. Oh my god, this guy's amazing. I totally love this guy. Oh my god.
To him either, and Sean Paul's label Atlantic. But he never heard anything back, and the tapes were never returned to him either. About a month after Jennifer Armour recorded her song, Beyonce entered a recording studio and began working on her new album, which would be Dangerously in Love, with collaborators Scott Storch and Robert Waller. Beyonce commercially released Baby Boy on June 24, 2003, and Jennifer Armour claimed to have heard Beyonce perform Baby Boy at a concert, and was surprised by the similarities she heard to her own music. On July 11, 2005, Armour filed a suit for copyright infringement against Beyonce, Robert Waller, Scott Storch, Sean Paul, their record labels, and all parties involved with the song. According to the district court, an expert witness determined the songs to be substantially similar, which is a requirement for an infringement finding, with the expert witness stating, "When the oral comparisons of the two songs are presented in the key of C minor and presented back-to-back in ABAB fashion, even the least musically inclined listener should immediately determine that the two songs are strikingly similar. I dare say that many listeners may even perceive them as being the same song. And again, transposing a song for this purpose does not alter any fundamental qualities or characteristics of the song, but merely assists the ability of those unfamiliar with the technicalities of music in making a comparison." The district court judge nonetheless ruled that she couldn't hear the similarities between the two songs and dismissed the case, denying the motion for the songs or case to be heard by a jury. On appeal, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit affirmed the district court's ruling, but it held that there was no infringement based on Beyonce claiming that Jennifer Armour's demo tape was received shortly after the writing of Beyonce's song had been substantially completed. However, the court did not address the issue of substantial similarity. Beyonce did not show up for a hearing, and the lawsuit was ultimately thrown out because the lyrics to Baby Boy were deemed substantially dissimilar to Jennifer Armour's Got a Little Bit of Love for You. And
Okay, we have to hear that. As soon as this video's over, we're gonna hear that. We have to hear it.
Lisa de Kersmacher is a Belgian choreographer known for putting experimental ballets together. But what does she have to do with Beyonce? According to Anna, Beyonce plagiarized a few of her ballets, Achterland and Rosas dans Rosas. You can see the similarities yourself when you take a moment to watch Beyonce's music video for Countdown, directed by Adria Petty, and then compare it to Thierry Demay's 1997 film Rosas dans Rosas, named after Anne's company. Once Beyonce's music video for Countdown was on the radar, the choreographer's response was that she had seen school kids in her local area perform her work, stating, "I'm not mad, but this is plagiarism. This is stealing."
I mean, do you see what I'm saying about with the idea of IP though, guys? That's like, and again, maybe some of you guys might even agree with dance IP. I think the idea of IP in general is just it just makes no sense other than to benefit the people who benefit from it. Which again, I get it, because if I can get some fire huge IP, fuck, I'm milking it for everything I can take it. Trust me, I get it. But I mean, taking it serious, I think is the, and I get it. You should say that if you're trying to sue, and I get it. But like, do you know what I mean? It's really just like say like you, like again, even if I literally copy the same exact dance, like how many videos? Remember? Do you guys remember? Like maybe, damn, this was a while ago. Cause I was like freaking a kid. But like, do you guys remember those like a year or 2 years where it was like a trend where everybody was like doing the Thriller dance? Do you guys remember that? And everybody like was posting videos of themselves doing the Thriller dance and their families and at work. And do you guys remember this? Like, imagine being like, oh, you're copying it move for move. Like, yeah, so what? Like, yeah, that's how it just, I don't know. I just think the idea of it is so ridiculous to be like, That's plagiarism. It's stealing. You're stealing my moves. Only I am allowed to do those moves. And if you want to do those moves, you have to pay me for the permission to do those moves. So you're not allowed to move your body in a certain way in sequence. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have this sequence of moves of your body because those are my sequence of moves of a body. You're not allowed to do it. You're plagiarizing. You're stealing. Like, it just sounds so ridiculous. Like, it just sounds so crazy. It just sounds so crazy to me. It just sounds so crazy to me. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Adria Petty, the director for the Beyonce song in question, said, "I brought Beyonce a number of references and we picked some out together. Most were German modern dance references, believe it or not," she told MTV, potentially assuming that she was referencing the work of the late Pina Bausch. The countdown video has a mixture of pop culture references from the 60s and 70s, such as Beyonce portraying Audrey Hepburn in the movie Funny Face, Monica Vitti in Modesty Blaze, and Jennifer Beals in Flashdance, and Diana Ross when she was a member of the singing group The Supremes. Adria Petty believed that any form of art that has ever been released is up for grabs to be reincorporated into newer work. But this doesn't change the fact and the way that Anne feels about being used, with her stating, "Protocols and consequences to such actions, and I can't imagine that Beyonce and her team are not aware of it." BC Jean. The song that singer BC Jean is most known for was inspired by her love of pizza and wishing that she was a boy because of her belief that men don't have to worry about their diets and staying slim as much as that pressure is placed on women. BC Jean explained herself to the Los Angeles Times by saying, "I was riding with Toby and I wanted a piece of pizza. I was trying to be good with my diet and I said, I wish I were a boy. He always recorded everything I said with a little tape recorder and he said, 'What did you just say?' And he put it in my face. I said, 'Stop, Toby, I just said I'm hungry. I want that pizza in Times Square.' And then he went, 'What else would you do if you were a boy?' I said, 'I'd be a better man than my ex-boyfriend.'" BC Jean and Toby went on to write a folk song about gender double standards together if I were a boy. But this version differs quite a bit from the pop hit that emerged. When BC Jean initially struggled to gain a record deal, Toby took the song to Beyonce, which hadn't worked out well for others, and Toby was no different. Then eventually BC Jean was shocked to find out that If I Were a Boy was included on Beyonce's album I Am Sasha Fierce, and responded by saying, "I've been reading some of the comments and to set the record straight from the horse's mouth, If I Were a Boy is my song. Yes, I wrote the song. It is my story, a painful one, and the song is very dear to me. You can hear the original version on my MySpace site."
Yeah,
Eventually, BC Jean was able
MySpace.
to make a deal with Beyonce in which BC Jean put out her debut album. She would be able to secure a Beyonce feature. But the sad truth is that neither the debut album or the Beyonce feature ever came to fruition. Make sure to subscribe for more.
I mean, but guys, these were all some very weak claims, guys. Shout out to the guy who made the video though. It made me laugh. We gotta hear that one. What was the song called?
Per witness, the C minor and presented back to strikingly simple. Does not alter any failure with denying the motion for the songs, or held that there was no infringement based on Beyonce claiming that Jennifer Armour's demo tape was received shortly.
Jennifer Armour. Guys, we gotta.
And it's not everyone agrees with me, but at least I win what you ask of me, Lord. 'Cause I don't want it, I don't need it. If it doesn't come from you, Lord, I don't need it. They can't keep it if it doesn't come So to my ladies and my men too, don't you let anyone try to use you, 'cause you don't want it, you don't need it if it doesn't come together.
This can't be the song, right? Plus, it would have been like a recording, right? It wouldn't have been that live thing. Guys, I don't know. I'm never gonna find it, guys. I don't know, guys. I thought that was actually really incredibly weak, that video.
So is Beyonce really out here stealing from artists? Guys, I had to do the research. But before I reveal the research,
I'll watch this video. We'll do this video in a separate one. We'll have to watch this one, but immediately, I mean, it looks exactly like the same thing as the one we just watched. Like, oh, you're in all white? And this is like, someone else did that before too. Just stole it. Guys, we'll be back. Shout out to everybody, guys. Guys, go check out my real channel, my music in the description. And guys, go follow me on IG or TikTok or Twitter at Inyo Kutsi, INYOKUTSE. And guys, we'll be back.